Good morning, MacArthur, Marauders, and all of our veteran guests. I'm so excited to start this ceremony for all of you. And I am going to turn it over to the kids because they are really the stars of the show today. So please join me in introducing my first speaker, Connor Rugg.
Good morning, honored guests and fellow classmates. My name is Connor Rugg, one of the 8th grade students who is honored to be speaking to you and about you today. I begin by introducing other students who will be speaking this morning. They are Mary Carlson, Grace Lee Mary, Roxy Regal, Alex Karowski, and our Unified Advisory. We will begin this morning's program with Alex.
Origin of the Pledge of Allegiance. On September 8, 1892, Francis Bellamy, who was the circulation manager for the Boston-based magazine The Youth's Companion, wrote a few words, which ended up being published for students to repeat on Columbus Day that year. He then sent out thousands of brochures to public schools across the country. Bellamy felt that a vow of loyalty or allegiance to the flag should be the dominant theme. He especially stressed the word allegiance. Beginning with the new word allegiance, he then decided that pledge was a better school word than vow, that my flag was preferable to the flag, and the true reason for allegiance to the flag is the republic for which it stands. Bellamy then reflected on the sayings of the Revolutionary War and the Civil War and concluded that all of those conflicts and struggles reduced themselves to 3 words: one nation, indivisible. On October 12, 1892, 400 years after Columbus's arrival in the Americas, more than 12 million children recited the Pledge of Allegiance, thus beginning a required and meaningful school day ritual that continues today. At the first National Flag Conference in Washington, D.C. on June 14, 1923, a change was made. For clarity, the words, "The flag of the United States," replaced "my flag." In the following years, various other changes were suggested but never formally adopted. It was not until 1942 that Congress officially recognized the Pledge of Allegiance. In June of 1954, an amendment was made that added the words, "under God." Then President Dwight D. Eisenhower said, "In this way, we are reaffirming the transcendence of religious faith in America's heritage and future. In this way, we are still constantly strengthening those spiritual weapons which forever will be our country's most powerful resource in peace and war." Thank you. It is my pleasure to introduce Roxy.
Origin of the Star-Spangled Banner. On September 13, 1814, Francis Scott Key visited the British fleet in Chesapeake Bay to secure the release of Dr. William Deans, who had been captured by the British after the burning of Washington, D.C. The release was secured, but Mr. Key was detained on the ship overnight during the bombing of Fort McHenry, one of the forts defending Baltimore during the War of 1812. In the morning, he was so delighted to see the American flag still flying over the fort that he began a poem to commemorate the occasion. First published under the title Defense of Fort McHenry, the poem soon attained wide popularity as sung to the tune To an Anachorene in Heaven. The origin of this tune is obscure, but it may have been written by John Stafford Smith, a British composer born in 1750. The Star-Spangled Banner was officially made the national anthem by Congress in 1931, although it had already been adopted as such by the Army and Navy. We sing the opening stanza of the 4-stanza song to honor the flag and bravery of those who defend it. With that being said, would everybody please rise to the Wheeling High School JROTC Color Guard will present our colors. After their counter march, would everybody follow our lead and join our unified advisory in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. Please remain standing for the playing of the national anthem.
Evolution of the United States flag. No one knows with absolute certainty who designed the first stars and stripes or who made it. Congressman Francis Hopkins seems most likely to have designed it. A few historians believe that Betsy Ross, a Philadelphia seamstress, made the first one.
Until the Executive Order of June 24, 1912, neither the order of the stars nor the proportions of the flag were prescribed. Consequently, flags dating before this period sometimes show unusual arrangements of the stars in odd proportions, these features being left to the discretion of the flag maker. In general, however, straight rows of stars and proportions similar to those later adopted officially were used. There are 5 principal acts affecting the flag of the United States. The first Flag Act was passed by the Continental Congress on June 14, 1777, in order to establish an official flag for the new nation. Resolved that the flag of the United States be made of 13 stripes, alternating red and white, that the Union be 13 stars, white in a blue field, representing a new constellation.
Then, an act of January 13, 1794, provided for 15 stripes and 15 stars. An act of April 4, 1818, signed by President Monroe, provided for 13 stripes and 1 star for each state to be added to the flag on the 4th of July, following the admission of each new state.
An executive order of President Taft, dated June 24, 1912, established proportions of the flag and provided for arrangement of the stars in 6 horizontal rows of 8 each, a single point of each star to be pointed upward. Finally, there was an executive order of President Eisenhower dated August 21, 1959. This provided for the arrangement of the stars in 9 rows staggered horizontally and 11 rows staggered vertically. Thank you. Please enjoy our MacArthur Orchestra as they play a new addition to the celebration, Honor and Glory. American soldier was buried in Arlington National Cemetery. This site on a hillside overlooking the Potomac River and the city of Washington, D.C. became a focal point of reverence for American veterans. Ceremonies have occurred earlier in England and France, where an unknown soldier was buried in each of the nation's highest place of honor. In England, Westminster Abbey, and in France, the Arc de Triomphe. These memorial gestures all took place on November 11th, giving the universal recognition to the celebrated ending of World War I, beginning at 11 a.m., November 11th, 1918, the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. The day became known as Armistice Day. Armistice Day officially received its name in America in 1926 through a congressional resolution. It became a national holiday 12 years later by a similar congressional action. If the idealistic hope had been realized that World War I was the war to end all wars, then November 11th might still be called Armistice Day. But only a few years after the holiday was proclaimed, war broke out in Europe. 16.5 million Americans took part, 407,000 have died in service, and more than 292,000 in battle. Realizing that peace was equally preserved by veterans of World War II and the Korean War, Congress was asked to make this day an occasion to honor those who have served in America in all wars. In 1954, President Eisenhower signed a bill proclaiming November 11th as Veterans Day.
On Memorial Day, 1958, 2 more unidentified American war dead were brought from overseas and buried in the plaza beside the unknown soldier of World War I. One was killed in World War II, the other in the Korean War. In 1973, a law passed providing burial of an unknown American from the Vietnam War, but none were found for several years. In 1984, an unknown serviceman from the Vietnam War was placed alongside the others. To honor these men, representative of all Americans who gave their lives in all wars, an Army Honor Guard from the 3rd U.S. Infantry keeps day and night watch at the gravesite. A law passed in 1968 changed the national celebration of Veterans Day to the 4th Monday in October. It soon became apparent, however, that November 11th was the date of historic significance to many Americans. Therefore, in 1978, Congress returned the observance to its traditional date, November 11th. The focal point for official national ceremonies for Veterans Day continues to be the Memorial Amphitheater built around the tomb of the unknown soldiers. At 11 a.m. on November 11th, a combined color guard representing all military services executes present arms at the tomb. The nation's tribute to its war dead is symbolized by the laying of a presidential wreath. The bugler plays taps. The rest of the ceremony takes place in the amphitheater. Every year, the President of the United States urges all Americans to honor the commitment of our veterans through appropriate public ceremonies, this being one of them. Thank you. In just a moment, the MacArthur Concert Band will perform Marches of the Armed Forces. After that, Roxy and Alex will share a powerful poem with us. It is my pleasure to now introduce the MacArthur Concert Band and veterans. Please stand as able when you hear your fight song.
whose author is unknown, is called I Am the Flag of the United States.
I am the flag of the United States of America. My name is Old Glory. I fly atop the world's tallest building. I stand watch in America's halls of justice. I fly majestically over institutions of learning. I stand guard with power in the world. Look up and see me. I stand for peace, honor, truth, and justice. I stand for freedom. I am confident. I am arrogant. I am proud. When I am flown with my fellow banners, my head is a little higher, my colors a little truer. I bow to no one. I am recognized all over the world. I am worshipped. I am saluted. I am loved. I am revered. I am respected, and I am feared. I have fought in every battle of every war for more than 200 years.
I was flown at Valley Forge, Gettysburg, Shiloh, and Appomattox. I was there at San Juan Hill, in the trenches of France, in the Argonne Forest, and Anzio, Rome, on the beaches of Normandy, in Guam, Okinawa, and Korea. Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan know me. I was there, and I'm still there. I led my troops. I was dirty, battle-worn, and tired, but my soldiers cheered me on, and I was proud. I have been burned, torn, and trampled on the streets of countries I have helped set free. It does not hurt me, for I am invincible. I have been soiled upon, burned, torn, and trampled in the streets of my own country. And when it's done by those whom I've served in battle, it hurts. But I shall overcome, for I am strong. I have slipped the bonds of earth and stood watch over the uncharted frontiers of space from my vantage point on the moon. I have borne silent witness to all of America's finest hours, but my finest hours are yet to come. When I am torn into strips and used as bandages for my wounded comrades on the battlefield, when I am flown at half-mast to honor my soldier, or when I lie in the trembling arms of a grieving parent at the grave of their fallen son or daughter, I am proud. Thank you. Roxy and Mary will soon tell us about who is a veteran. Now please welcome again the MacArthur Chorus as they perform God Bless America. Please sing along if you wish.
Some of our veterans are easy to recognize. They wear uniforms, medals, and ribbons. Most veterans, however, live among us quietly and anonymously. They are America's own sons and daughters. Let's consider for a moment the question, Who is a veteran? A veteran is an elderly gentleman sitting on a park bench who helped liberate a Nazi concentration camp during World War II. A veteran is the grizzled surface station mechanic who showed extraordinary courage at the 38th parallel during the Korean War. A veteran is the nurse taking care of newborns in a hospital nursery who once bandaged burned and bloody limbs at Da Nang during Vietnam. A veteran is a POW who once returned home to face a culture he didn't recognize and how he finds himself able at last to tell a story to his adult children. A veteran is a police officer driving her patrol car through the neighborhood who spent 6 months in Saudi Arabia making sure armored personnel carriers didn't run out of fuel during Desert Storm. A veteran is the older college student who braved the heat and terrorists while in Iraq or Afghanistan during Operation Enduring Freedom. On Veterans Day, we honor all people who served in our armed forces. They stand proudly in the timeline of history. Many war heroes and visionary military leaders stand in this line of selfless service. Some bear visible signs of their bravery and service. Others carry inner signs, a soul forged and shaped by battle. Today, we offer special recognition to veterans who face the horrors of war and especially those who gave up their lives in service to the nation. They and their families deserve our highest praise and eternal gratitude. We remember and salute all fallen heroes today and thank their families for their ultimate sacrifice.
A veteran, however, is not only someone who fought in the war. Listen to the words of a staff sergeant who served during Desert Storm. I greatly admire and respect my heroes and friends in the desert for their courage, stamina, and superb performance during Desert Storm. Yet let's not discount the accomplishments of all who stayed back in the garrisons and the training fields in America. We also served yet in ways that don't grab headlines. We kept on doing what we are paid to do, train soldiers. We played a critical role in caring for the families left behind. We helped assure that thousands of Guard Reserve soldiers were fit to fight. We took on the rear area workload, which needed to be done right. These are powerful words and true ones. And let's not forget to honor the many other veterans who served during peacetime and those who deployed during operations other than war. All soldiers commit to putting themselves on the line. Members of the National Guard continue to put themselves in harm's way, adding with disaster and hurricane relief efforts every year, as you saw in Mogadishu, Somalia, and the American Bassity at Nairobi, Kenya. Soldiers die in operations other than war. All soldiers train and maintain a constant state of readiness, so that whenever the nation needs them, they are ready to serve, and if necessary, to fight and die for their country. Therefore, on Veterans Day, we recognize and honor the many veterans who supported our war fighters, as well as all soldiers who served during peacetime. We recognize the fullest possible definition of the term veteran as any person who has served in the armed force, past and present, at home and abroad, in peacetime and in war, and on active duty. In the Army Reserve and the Army National Guard, we honor them today as we have for many years. We owe all American veterans a profound debt of gratitude. The freedoms and opportunities we enjoy today were brought and paid for with their devotion to duty and their sacrifices.
Your contributions and acts of selfless service make a profound difference in our world. We praise you, we honor you, and we thank you.
It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Nystrom and Mr. Caper, who will introduce our veterans here today. Veterans, if you are able, please stand when you are recognized.
Alrighty, we will now read the name, the branch served, and some of the conflicts these veterans may have served in. I apologize if I butcher any names. I will try my best. As Mary said, please stand when you hear your name. Ray Limbach, Army, Airborne Division, Vietnam War, for 6 years of service. Bill Starr, U.S. Army, Vietnam War, Bosnia, and Kosovo, 23 years of service. Laura Matsuzak, Army, Bosnia, 22 years of service. Jim Parker, United States Air Force, Vietnam, 6 years of service. Sergeant Fernando Perez, United States Marine Corps, Operation Enduring Freedom, Operation Iraq Freedom,
Stuart Johnson, Navy, Vietnam War. Dutch de Groot, Army and Air Force, Gulf War, Operation Iraqi Freedom. J. Michael Newton, Army Intelligence, Vietnam War. Leland Austin Gavin, Army, Vietnam War. Turk Bayescalan Torah, Air Force, active. Ron Miller, Army, Vietnam War. Ron Blake, Army, Vietnam War, Cold War.
Robert W. Resnick, Army and Coast Guard, with 27 years of service and in the Vietnam War. Robert J. Lucci, U.S. Army, 3rd Infantry Division, Vietnam War, 3 years of service. Henry Lusenberg, Air Force, Vietnam War, 4 years of service. Dennis Roseland, U.S. Army, South Korea, 3 years of service. Jay Katzman, Air Force and Coast Guard, served in Vietnam War, 6 years of service. Les Durow, Navy, Vietnam War, 4 years of service.
All right, a couple remaining. August Granados, Navy, Santo Domingo. Casey Costco, Navy, Operation Enduring Freedom, and Iraqi Freedom. John L. Adachek, Marine Corps, Vietnam War. Ron Belchick, Air Force, Vietnam War. Mike Ryan, Marine Corps, Vietnam War. And last but not least, Thomas Mitchell, Army, Vietnam War. All right. Thank you to all of our speakers today. They did an amazing job. Connor, Alex, Roxy, Gracie, and Mary. I do want to introduce myself. I forgot at the beginning. I was so nervous making sure they did a great job. Cameron Nystrom, principal. It was in the script. I missed it. But thank you to our school board and the rest of the D23 community for their support. Thank you to our Student Senate, led by Mr. Casea and Mrs. Caleras. Please stand up if you're part of Student Senate. You see, at D23, we engage all students in experiences that inspire each of us to grow as learners, individuals, and community members. Beyond the academics, service learning is at the core of our work. Whether it's collecting supplies for local service members overseas, holiday food baskets, planting trees around our building, or helping get books into the hands of those that need them through Bernie's Book Bank, we are always working to serve. Today, we get a chance to serve those who have already served so much. I hope you enjoyed the signs, the placemats, the decorations, and all the handmade items from our students in advisory class. I hope you enjoyed the music performances by our band, orchestra, and chorus. I hope you enjoyed the food and the service from our student senate members. This is a special time and the least that we can do for you. You had the courage to serve our country. Because of that courage and service, we are able to honor you today. Marauders, these veterans stood up to do the right thing for those around them. I encourage you all to continue to use them as a model to stand up to do the right thing for yourselves and those around you. Thank you for being such an influence on our generation. It's a simple phrase, but we don't let others know it enough. When someone holds the door for you, be sure to say thank you. If there's someone you want to appreciate, send them a note. Fill out a turkey so they know, and just say thank you. The wonderful thing about appreciation is that it brightens someone else's day when they are known and seen. It also brightens your day, knowing that you're making a difference in someone else's day. To everyone that attended today's event, thank you. To our special guests here today, thank you. And for other veterans whose memories we can only hold in our minds and our hearts, thank you.